been playing?
Yeah, I've been playing. I would say a semi-disappointing sequel that's called Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So obviously it pretty much launched 1 year ago, like today more or less. And they obviously fixed the whole, I guess, controversy when it came to facial animations and things like that, because I've looked up
Holding a gun correctly.
yeah.
What about that? Did they fix that?
Okay, there was some weird glitches where I was at a bar and I ordered a drink and the character was drinking, but like his head was turned, so he was pouring his drink on like his neck. So I found that very interesting. I filmed that. That was pretty funny. But yeah, aside from that, I think like it's very hard to explain where it's like how BioWare kind of fell apart in a sense, where it's like if we want to talk, okay, let's break it down. Like facial animations, they got better. The game itself does not look that good. Like it looks like a game from 2014. Like GTA 5 probably looks as good as this game. And this game came out in 2017. I think it's probably the engine or something. So I don't know. They're gonna do something about that. But you know, their new game, Anthem, looks pretty good. So maybe all their time and effort went into that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like, it's pretty disappointing to hear, just because there was a lot of game. Again, like as I mentioned before with Arkham Knight, I think it was well received. Like, you know, people who like Batman, and when it worked, people liked it, right? But because of this whole controversy and the turnover rate of games, like it just kind of disappeared. And I think like same thing with Andromeda, right? Like Andromeda like kind of dropped. And there was a lot of hype for it, because I remember like listening to the trailer, and the trailer was really cool. Had like a really cool song that I liked in it as well. And yeah, it's really epic. But then like the game comes out, and like outside of the gameplay, like the story's really bad, and you know, like it's nothing like the original trilogy. And the thing is, you know, I had a few friends who were like obsessed with Mass Effect. And I never played it before until in 2015, when I started Mass Effect 1 and then played through. Oh no, wait, no, it would have been 2016. Like I played Mass Effect 1 and then through early 2016 finished Mass Effect 3, and it is just this one big journey. For me, it was like a huge journey the entire way through, but I can imagine like, you know, people waiting in between games, like it kind of felt like a huge conclusion. Some people found the ending disappointing. I think like because I played like a, you know, semi-edited version, it wasn't too bad for me, but I understood why some people were upset with the ending of Mass Effect 3. But yeah, like all the story decisions, like, you know, all kind of coalesce like with the third game. And I don't know, like you tell me, like how is the story of Mass Effect by comparison to the previous games?
I think this is the main reason why it's a bad game, is because the story is like lacking, like very much lacking. Like obviously like the general basics is you're on a spaceship called the Tempest that's basically going to a new galaxy, so it's the new frontier. Sounds awesome, because the frontier time's awesome. Like you have to explore different planets, you don't know what's going on, different races of aliens, which is in the game, but it's kind of hampered by, I guess, a very specific, like the way the story is going is not where I want it to go, and it doesn't feel like it really builds to that much. Like when you get to, you know, the galaxy that you're going to, you find out that like obviously none of the planets that you said there were like golden planets. There's planets that you would inhabit. There's things going wrong. There's an new alien race called the Kets that are just killing everything left, right, and center. And I guess you just kind of have to pick up of like why they're killing people. How can we build up this infrastructure and like save our ship? Good enough premise, but I think it just falters a lot of what you do in the story. Like it's just not interesting enough. Story, like even characters, like the main characters that you have, I do not really feel that much attachment to them, or like don't really know that much about them. Like once again, I can tell you about Liara, I can tell you about freaking Garrus, and you know, I can talk you know, about Miranda and her troubled past. Like I can tell you all these things, and this has been years since I played these games. But like, I barely remember what's happening in the game at the current moment, because I feel like they just don't really have that much of a personality. Like I feel like everyone had their own little quirk, but in Andromeda, I guess they just don't really have that much. I don't know what it is, but I feel less attached, and it's making me like the game less. Like,
Right.
a thing that I do really like about the game is actually the combat system. The combat system is like way like overhauled, where obviously you can jump, you can dodge, so it's like you
Isn't
can
it
jump.
funny that like being able to jump is like it takes everything, like it changes everything. But I agree, like you can't jump in the first three games. So I can imagine verticality, a third axis help.
Yeah, you can you can jump around buildings or around cover. So like cover, if you're someone really close, you can shoot them out of it. Buildings and stuff like that, you can just like move around very easily. I really like it. Even on top of that, the system's is really good because basically you're not confined to like one class. So like you can have biotics as well as just, I guess, the normal combat roles and things like that. So you're not like, oh, I'm playing this, but I have to be like a soldier class. Like you can mix and match whatever you want. So it's got the good enough freedom for that. And especially if you want to play the game for a long time, you can level up all those skills, and they take quite a bit of time. So that's good. Even the weapons are really good because instead of just finding random loot or buying them, so they got the ranks like 1 to 5 or whatever. But on top of that, you got mods, and you can change everything. Like I was looking up a tutorial online of like what's the best gun in Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's kind of like I did it, and it's pretty easy. It's a pistol. I think it's called the Hornet. And this is in previous Mass Effect games where it was like a big kind of revolver gun where it was very slow shooting, but is very powerful. It has so much freedom. It's kind of like the Fallout 4 mod gun system where I can change this gun into an automatic receiver, so it's an automatic gun. Lessens obviously the damage, but you mod that with like extra mods that do damage and extra clips. It just tears through every enemy really quickly. So like,
so you put a lot of mods in other mods, and then it becomes one big mod.
Basically. So that's the thing. That's what I like about RPGs and things like that. The amount of freedom that you can completely break the game if you find ways to do it. So Mass Effect has that in the combat. It's pretty satisfying. Verticality is good. It's just the story that hampers it. I feel like the story in and of itself is relatively short. Like there's only about 5 planets that you, I guess, kind of go to, that you inhabit and visit, and I've already done that, and I think I'm about 2/3 of the way done in the game. So, main story is relatively short. They do pad it out with a lot of side stuff. Side stuff, it's okay, I guess. Like, especially when you play it, reminded me of something kind of like Arkham Knight, in a sense. But like, once again, you have your little vehicle, that even kind of does the same boost sound as when you do the Batmobile, which is pretty funny.
Right. Yeah.
So they're kind of alike in the same, where it's same old, but it doesn't really do something new to the formula. But especially when you compare it to like the trilogy, it's very hard to it's just really the story that's the problem. And they said that not doing any single player story this DLC, so this game's pretty much dead.
Dead, yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I think Mass Effect is pretty much dead for a while. Like I don't see it coming back because like Anthem seems like to be their new sci-fi thing, and maybe one day Mass Effect will come back, but it'll be radically different, or like a game with service or some shit like that. So who knows? Like I might as well wait for the next Dragon Age or something.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like with something like Andromeda, I think the quality definitely seems like it wasn't anywhere near even the original game. Like at least the original game like had a lot of stuff going on, even though the game is like over 10 years old now, I think.
Yeah, I really like the first game. Like it had a lot of mystery since it was the first one. Like I feel like this one's supposed to be like the frontier, supposed to learn new stuff, which is true. But like it doesn't have the same like I guess script writing that makes it like feel like a mystery. Like, ooh, what's happening here? Like sometimes I just don't care what the people are saying. Like it's just I don't know. There's something weird with what they do with the game, I guess.
And what you were saying with like Anthem and stuff, like you're seeing all the kind of games like Destiny and coming out, and even like something like the new Monster Hunter game. Like everybody like kind of likes these like kind of bigger open world games that kind of have a unique aspect to it. And especially with the comparison to Destiny, like that's probably what it's going to go into is something like Anthem. And I think a lot of games are kind of incorporating more multiplayer online content because at least you can kind of monopolize the player base through that. Get them
Yeah, and
more
also,
engaged with
it
the
lasts
game.
longer, I guess. Like I know
Yeah.
people still like single player content. The
Mm.
problem is just that I guess it doesn't really sell as much, or like you can't make as much money out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And well, the thing is, like, for me in particular, like, uh, as much as, like, some people say, like, gameplay is more important than story. For me, they're both very important. So a game that is just purely game, like, won't get me probably engaged with it long term unless I really, really like it. I probably can't really name any game that doesn't have, like, a good like, I don't really play, like, for example, like sport game, right? Like,
It's just generic sport game like NBA Live.
and well, NBA Live or even like Rocket League, I would probably play like if there's like a few friends over or something like that, but I probably wouldn't go out of my way to play the multiplayer online for it. There are a lot of people who really enjoy the kind of competitive aspect of that, like I don't. So it doesn't really engage me because that's like a game that's purely game. Where just you have a ball, you have a rocket car, you put the ball in the goals, like that's it. Um, where, and then by contrast, like if you have like a game which is all story, like I don't know, like a walking simulator, something like I don't know, like
Goat
that goat
Simulator.
simulator game, and then there's like Dear Esther. I don't know if you've heard of that game. That's just that's
Yeah,
a game
I
that's on
played that.
Steam.
Got easy 1,000 achievements from that.
Is it 1,000 achievements?
Yeah, once again, it's the every single game on Xbox generally is like 1,000, and it's like just beat the
Okay.
game. I'm like, okay, I can do that. It was
Yeah,
once
yeah.
again, I felt like it was boring, so I just literally walked around and watched a movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dear Esther's like boring as hell, but like yeah, that's like a contrast to like a game that's all story. Like it doesn't keep me engaged at all. But yeah, like it has to have like a good balance, and I think especially with Mass Effect, the original ones, they did a very good job with the story and a good job with the gameplay. I think I preferred the RPG aspects of the first game, so I think I like the fact that Andromeda is kind of going back to that a little bit. I remember people were saying like, "Oh, the UI is a little bit complicated," but like once you get used to it, you understand like what's what. But yeah, like it kind of slowly turned into a more Gears of War-ish game, like
Yeah,
by two
with
and three.
two,
Not
yeah,
that that's
it did have the I was gonna, oh man, the mass appeal of
yeah.
yeah, when yeah, I when I said it in my head, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be so bad. But yeah, it had the mass appeal because it was more like a shooter, third person shooter, and it had some side RPG stuff, which is fine. But
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, Mass Effect 1 seems to be my general favorite just because it has a lot more freedom to do, and also it had the mines. I remember throwing those mines, and it was like the most overpowered thing in the world.
Oh, okay. I think I like three. Like I think I like because I think two. People often go to two as being their favorite. I like that you're quite unique. You like the first one. I like the first one as well. But a lot of people go with two. And the thing is, I like two, but two for me kind of seemed like the game. And I don't know. You tell me if you agree with this or not. But like the story of the game is kind of roundabout between one and two, right? Because it goes like, okay, you find a Reaper, and the whole galaxy is should kind of be aware because it attacks the Citadel, and you save all the people in the Citadel,
The
and they
Council.
all know that, yeah, the Council, or you let them die depending on the decision you make with that.
I should have just
Um,
let them die because they didn't listen to me.
Yeah, but the thing is, even from what I read, that because if you let them die, it becomes like an all-human council, and then they don't listen to you either. So either way, and that's a part of the reason that I'm just like, oh, okay, so like the council doesn't kind of hides the fact that Reapers exist, and then in Mass Effect 2, you're dealing with a kind of secret alien race that is kidnapping people, and then you find out they're connected to the Reapers. It kind of felt like it should have been the other way around, if that makes sense. Like it's like first you're dealing with this weird alien race, and then you learn about the Reapers, and then you amass everybody to attack to kill the Reapers. But I don't know if you agree with how they went about. I understand like why it happened like that, because obviously they made the first game and they're like, oh shit, like how do we prolong the story a little bit? Okay, this happens. And I think the kind of characters aren't as good in 2, because there's like the Krogan guy. Like,
Yeah, it's not Rex. It's the other one.
Yeah, it's not Rex. Yeah, it's the other guy. I forget. It's Grunt.
Yeah.
I give him like a dumb name, like Grunt. There's the black guy whose name I forget. Like again, he's just like a whatever character. And he's like not really in Mass Effect 3. There's Jack. I like Jack and I like Miranda. Again, they're very unique characters in the game.
You don't get. I don't think you get I forgot the. Is Liara? Yeah. You get the other lady.
True. Yeah.
The older woman, red head, the red lip thing. I remember that. She was annoying. But once again, I like, even if I don't remember the names, I do remember their, like, I guess attributes as personality. And I feel like in Andromeda, a lot of these characters are just like, they just hate where they are. Like there's one character, I think, I forgot his name already. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I used to be a cop and I just do general things. And that's all I know about him. There's like a Krogan on board that's like every other Krogan. He doesn't really have that much to go for him. I think I think the only difference is one Asari character is kind of like, because the Asari is more like a, I guess, reserved type of like alien race. This Asari is more like outgoing and more like happy-go-lucky. And that's like really the only real difference. But everyone else is pretty generic in their personality. And I feel like it's very, I don't know, it's very like garish. Like no one really has a good like thing to them. Whilst like if I play Mass Effect, I want to know what these characters are doing. Every time I go back to my ship in Mass Effect Andromeda, I'm like, do I really have to talk to these people? Like, that's my main problem. I just feel like they did something to these characters to make them unlikable. Like, I don't even want to romance any one of them because they're just very boring.
Well, yeah, I mean, even with like, and this is what I was saying with number 2. It's like, I didn't like the surrounding cast, which is why I really liked number 3, because again, it's just like you're recruiting people from the galaxy to join your quest to take out the Reapers, and you have like the percentage bar of like what your readiness is and all that, and yeah, like you get the gang back together more or less to kind of give it one last hurrah, so to speak. And it's really cool. And I think the fact that you see all your decisions that you made in the past kind of contribute to, what happens in the game at the end. Like it's really cool to see. I think that's the reason why. But again, I might be a little bit biased because again, it is the last game that I played, and I didn't play it like incrementally like some other people did, like yourself. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that Andromeda isn't going to be, I guess, remembered as a good Mass Effect, but I guess we can only hope that they come up with something better.
Hey, maybe, like, once again, if Anthem will probably come out, and hopefully, like, I think there's maybe 2 teams in BioWare, so, like, one's probably doing Anthem, that's probably the main, where all the main resources are going, but, like, I still hope that they do, like, old school RPG stuff, so, like, hopefully another Dragon Age that's more close to Dragon Age 1, because once again, Dragon Age is at the weird peak where it's like Dragon Age 1 was hardcore PC RPG. Dragon Age 2 was like, there's like 2 areas that you can go to, but it's a big area and it's more of an action game. And then like Dragon Age 3 was like more open worlds, kind of like a Skyrim type of thing. So I don't know where, like, the identity of each individual series is very different. So like BioWare itself is very different these days, and I don't know what they're doing, but let's hope they do good. So that's what I've been playing. You been doing anything else?